There's always the rush and excitement of meeting someone new and wanting to take things further with them, and this feeling is so giddy that many times we forget to be logical, and we just follow through with our feelings. We keep talking to the person and even say yes when they ask us out, even though we do not know God's opinion about the person at the moment. Feelings can be overwhelming, but as Christians, we are instructed to always seek God first in every situation. I know you may have hurried and told that person yes when you weren't sure yet, when you've accepted to date or marry someone and you're not sure of God's stand about it. One of the things you ought to do is to take things slow. Don't rush on in the relationship and don't fully commit to this person since you're not yet fully sure of God's opinion about the relationship. Instead of going on a fast pace with this person, you should take time and pause to get insight into what you want to do. Taking things slowly in these confusing times will help you get clarity on what God is saying. If you go ahead with the flow with this person without taking time to slow down, you would only realize that you ended up dating or marrying someone without knowing God's intentions about them. The time you take off to calm things down between you both will help you see clearly so that you're not rushing into something that God may not want. It'll also help you not to get too blinded by love in a manner that you would no longer consider God's intentions for you. So take time to pray to God and seek His heart regarding the current situation and wait till He speaks to you. The truth is that just because God hasn't spoken yet doesn't mean that this person isn't the right person for you. But because you need clarity and assurance from God, then you need to take time off to pray to God and ask Him what He desires for you regarding this person. Please ensure that you recognize and know how God speaks to you on a usual day. Is it usually a sign in your heart or peace within you? Or do you get very strong leadings? If God usually speaks to you with His Word, the Bible, on a usual day, then it may be too much for you to expect Him to send down the rain to tell you that it's okay to date your partner. You can take things slowly by asking this person for some space to think about your relationship, or you can tell them that you would prefer if the relationship was going at a slow pace. Another thing that you need to do if you accepted to date or marry someone when God isn't saying anything to you yet is that you need to re-evaluate the whole situation. You need to take time and think about why you said yes to someone's proposal without you getting an affirmation from God. If God's instruction was so important to you in the first place, then why did you decide by yourself without waiting for His directions for the situation? This is something you may need to think about. Try to ask yourself if you're just being desperate about getting into a relationship, or perhaps you're impatient about the current situation of loneliness that made you say yes without getting an answer from God. The reason for your actions could give you a good way to handle the current situation. For example, if you only said yes to this person because you've been single for so long and you just want a relationship, then you would need to address your need for desperation or validation by a relationship. In fact, you just may realize that you don't even like the person enough to date them or marry them. It could have just been the feeling of wanting to be with someone that pushed you to say yes. So you need to know why you said yes to someone when God hadn't said anything to you yet about it. It could also be that this person is ungodly and they have persuaded you and coerced you to a point where it was impossible to say no, even though you weren't sure yet. If this is the case, then you should be wary of this person. Such people can be very controlling and overbearing if a person lacks the patience to the extent or they just want you to date them. Even when you're not sure that it is okay, then they don't respect you as they ought to, and you may need to reconsider being with such men. Another thing you need to do if you agree to date or marry someone but haven't heard from God yet is to speak to the person. Simple honesty can go a long way. Think about it. No matter how long you keep waiting to tell this person of your uncertainty because you're yet to hear from God, you would still eventually tell them. So why not do it earlier? Even if you keep waiting for God to speak to you and you keep taking things very slowly, you would still need to tell the person eventually. Telling this person about the situation of things and how you're waiting on God for certainty will even help you to determine if such a person is interested in you in the long run. A person that wants you will be patient and calm with you and won't be in a hurry when you tell them that you're waiting on God. A person is the one for you, they would be glad and pleased to see that God's opinion matters a lot to you. Apart from this, you telling them the truth helps them to understand the situation of things, and it helps them know that you're not just trying to push them away when you asked for space or requested to take things slowly between you both. You should go ahead and pray more to God about the relationship you want to confirm. Usually, God speaks to us through His Word, so as you pray to Him, He will lead you to several scriptures that will give you wisdom on what to do. God's Word is like the believer's manual on the things to do and not to do. And so, as you pray to Him, He will guide you and keep showing you the biblical characteristics of a partner. The truth is that if this person aligns with the biblical descriptions of a partner and also aligns with God's given purpose and will for your life, then that's the answer that you need. God will not come down from heaven to tell you that this is the one for you. He rather expects you to search through His Word and check the person's alignment for your God-given purpose. And if you've checked all these and it's in approval and alignment with God, then it's God's will for you. But if in the process of checking and trying to observe this person, you notice that some of their characteristics don't fit into God's description, then you would need to break off the yes that you earlier told such person. If you follow through the earlier steps that I mentioned, you'll see how I told you to evaluate yourself to determine if you had said yes for the right purpose. I also said that you check if this person is good for you, and if you put aside your need to be in a relationship. Then I said to pray and study God's Word. By the time you have finished following these steps, you would have a good insight into what to do and what not to do. If you discover that you have only said yes to this person for the wrong reasons, then you may need to break up with this person. Also, if after praying and studying God's Word, you see that this person was not God's plan for you, then you would need to break up with this person. Although it may be a painful experience and process for both of you, you may need to do so if you and this person aren't meant for each other. While the pain may last for a while, it will always be better to face minimal pain now than go through with a marriage that will not be successful because it isn't God's will for you. You have now seen 5 steps that will help you navigate through the situation you're in at the moment. Follow these steps and you'll be certain of what to do and what not to do. Henceforth, make it a standard to always consult God and hear from Him before taking any further steps in the things you do in life.